Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into a T20 cricket match that went right down to the wire, Pakistan versus the West Indies. But listen, this isn't just going to be a recap of the scores. It's a story about an incredibly close victory, and we're going to unpack the exact strategy that sealed the deal.
And really, the entire story of this nail-biter, it all comes down to this one number: 14. 14 runs. That's it. In a game known for explosive hits and huge scores, the whole thing was decided by that tiny margin. So the big question is, how did Pakistan manage to defend their total and pull off such a tight win?
Okay, so to get inside their heads, we're using a really unique source today, a fictional post-match press conference. Now, just to be clear, this wasn't a real event. It's a narrative we've constructed to give us an all-access pass to the thinking behind the big decisions. It lets us see how this victory was really engineered.
So let's set the scene. We're in Lauderhill, Florida. The atmosphere is absolutely electric. The pressure is on, and then comes that crucial coin toss, which goes Pakistan's way. Their decision? Bat first. A classic, confident move to get a big score on the board and put the pressure on right from the start.
And you can see how it played out right here. Pakistan puts up a really competitive 178. The West Indies, in reply, they fought hard, they got so close, but were ultimately bowled out, falling just 14 runs short. I mean, look at those numbers. It really tells you just how tight this game was.
You know, cricket is absolutely a team sport, but sometimes a match really does turn on just a few moments of pure individual brilliance. And in this game, there were two players who really stepped up and completely defined the outcome.
So let's meet the two heroes of this story. We're calling them the architect and the finisher. With the bat, you had Saim Ayub. He was the architect, the one who built the entire foundation of Pakistan's innings. And then, with the ball, Mohammad Nawaz. He was the finisher. He delivered that knockout punch that just tore apart the West Indies' chase.
First up, the architect. Saim Ayub's contribution was 57 runs. And that wasn't just a number. It was the solid, confident platform that Pakistan desperately needed to build their entire innings on.
And now for the finisher. Mohammad Nawaz completely changed the game with this number: 3. 3 wickets in one single devastating over that just shattered the West Indies' momentum. Incredible.
So we've seen what happened. But remember that fictional press conference? Well, this is where it lets us explore the why. We get to go inside the captain's mind and really understand the thinking behind those key moments, and ultimately, the victory itself.
And of course, the media cuts right to the chase. The first question is the big one. Captain, what was the secret? How'd you guys pull this off?
The captain's answer is straight to the point. He basically confirms the strategy was a 1-2 punch. First, that big picture decision to bat after winning the toss. And second, empowering his star players, Ayub and Nawaz, to go out there and do what they do best. It's about making the right call and then trusting your talent to execute.
But you know, everyone wants to talk about that one game-changing over. What was the specific tactic? I mean, what was Nawaz actually doing out there that made him so unstoppable in that single moment?
Now this is what's really fascinating. The captain reveals it wasn't some stroke of luck. It was a very specific tactic. See, for a spinner, who usually relies on the ball turning, using pace is a sneaky form of deception. By slightly changing his speed, bowling a few balls a little faster, then a little slower, Nawaz completely messed with the batsman's timing. That relentless, subtle pressure is exactly what forced the mistakes and got the wickets.
A fantastic win for sure, but in a series like this, the job is never finished. The focus has to shift almost immediately. So how does the team take this win, this confidence, and carry it into the next match?
Well, the captain lays out a pretty clear three-point plan. They're not just going to sit back. They're getting even sharper. The focus is on smarter fielding, exploiting specific gaps on the leg side, which tells you they've spotted a weakness, and empowering leaders on the field to make those tough, split-second calls when it matters most.
When he's asked about the West Indies' record, the captain gives a classic, smart answer. He kind of sidesteps the question to make a much bigger point. It's not about the opponent's weakness, it's about his own team's strength and growing confidence. So this win wasn't just about the points, it was a massive morale boost. So, as we start to wrap this up, let's just pull back for a second and think about what this whole fictional press conference thing really shows us. It's a pretty powerful way to understand not just what happened on the field, but the story a team tells itself about how and why it won.
So let's just put it all together. Pakistan kicks off the series with a vital, hard-fought win. It was built on that solid foundation from Saim Ayub's bat and then sealed by Mohammad Nawaz's game-breaking bowling. This was a victory powered by a clear, effective strategy, and they've already got a tactical roadmap for what's coming next.
And that really just leaves us with one final thought to chew on. We've looked at the strategy, the numbers, the key moments, but it makes you wonder, doesn't it? In sports, where does the raw on-field action stop, and where does the powerful, compelling story that we tell ourselves about it all truly begin?